All right, so welcome viewers to Lehman Radio versus the Wellness Center. This interview was recorded on November 12th, 2020. I'm your host, Big Chels, and here with me is my co-host, Rakim, the hitmaker, Watson.
Let's go. Yes.
Today we are interviewing Sheridan Dunn, the program coordinator for Lehman Wellness, and Nicole Flores, senior wellness coach and team leader. So, as a psychology major and a mental health worker, I have a special place in my heart for the Wellness Center. I think the work you guys do is incredibly valuable. So, I'm excited to be interviewing you guys today. So let's start with, what does the Wellness Center offer and what do you guys do specifically?
So we're the Wellness Center and we offer basically like workshops, and we point students to different resources covering the 8 dimensions of wellness. And so some of those are like emotional wellness, social wellness, physical wellness. So like that covers like health and nutrition, financial wellness, where we talk about budgeting and, different life skills. And so basically we launch and create different health initiatives to serve the Lehman student body. And we basically curate our programming and workshops to serve like specifically the Lehman College, because as you know, we're a commuter campus and we have some non-traditional students. So we really try to, be intentional on like the type of workshops we offer. We want to make sure that we're catering to our diverse campus.
All right. So how has your work with the Wellness Center been incorporated into your daily life?
I use it all the time. I've working for the Wellness Center has been, I think, one of the smartest decisions I've made in college. A lot of the techniques we use for, stress management, self-care. I host a workshop on self-care. I tend to use in my own personal life. Our time management workshop is very helpful, especially because I work and go to school and try to manage my entire life. So yeah, I try to use all the things that we do at the Wellness Center.
Just like wellness kind of establishes this balance so you can live a healthier life. And like she said, like things like time management, I just did one of the activities that we offer students. It's like a kind of like a time blocking thing. Like, so I do things like that. I definitely try to meditate more often. That's something that we also offer from our office. So it's definitely just establishing that work, life, health balance. And so, we can always tap into the assignments and the activities and the workshops that we offer students and incorporate them into our own lives.
All right. So before the pandemic, when I was on campus, I would always see your flyers for events you were holding, things like the meditation and the time management and all that. Has it been challenging doing those kind of things while remote?
Oh, so has it? Yes, it has been. It's been very challenging because one of the major things of being on campus is that you have direct access to students, and students can pop in between classes or during lunch, and then we can't offer the same thing. So like a lot of times we would trap students with food, so if you don't have a little snack, people like to slide in, like even if they don't know anything about the Wellness Center, usually a good little snack will get, or some type of incentive. If we're giving out mints or chapstick, like people like free stuff. So for those who didn't really know about us, that's really how we, got, new students to at least check out our office or just like see what we're offering. And so we don't have that virtually. There's not much we can offer. Students aren't necessarily between classes like they were, when we were on campus. So when people have free time, they're not like, oh, let me just go online and watch a Zoom about, breast health or something. It's like they're probably watching TV. They're probably doing something around the house. It's just not it's not personable anymore. So that's a challenge.
Yeah, and there's Zoom fatigue. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, people
I'm in Zoom meetings all the time, and it's like, oh my God.
And it's not the same. It's not the same as feeling like the energy in the room and, having like little side conversations with people that may be in the workshop with you. So like, you can't really do that on Zoom because it gets really kind of like, people speaking all over each other. You can't really hear. There's technical difficulties.
Yeah.
There's a lot of challenges that go with it.
Yeah, and one of the things that was great when we were on campus was we were able to like flyer and hand out flyers and pull people in that way. And it's, for my self-care workshops that I do, it's usually DIYs. So we do like DIY lip balms or body butters and all kinds of stuff, but you can't really do that over Zoom, really. Then it just becomes like a YouTube tutorial. So it's a little different.
Yeah,
And students don't get to walk away with something tangible. So yeah, it's definitely been a challenge.
So have you been able to connect with more of the student body while remote, or has it kind of lessened the amount of connection you guys have?
I think it's definitely affected how we connect with students. I think our student participation has definitely gone down a bit, but this is new territory for all of us. So we're still trying to figure it out. And, we're most likely going to be remote next semester. So we're just trying to figure out, what we can do to engage students a little bit better. But then again, like we know that, we're remote and it's not going to be the same. It's just, I don't think it'll ever be the same.
So which workshops do you think received the most traction this semester, considering everything's online?
Definitely our time management workshop. That was a big one. We had a huge turnout for that, which was great because I think that's one of the main issues in this sort of quarantine pandemic situation is we have more time, but then we also have less time depending on what your responsibilities are. Parents aren't just parents anymore, they're also teachers. And so, and then, if they're in college, they're students themselves. So that was a big one that we had a great turnout for.
I agree.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will say I personally am struggling with that, having to structure my own time between work and school. There's freedom to that, but there's also like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Can students reach you guys, the Wellness Center, during winter and summer sessions?
So we usually don't run programming during winter or summer sessions, but that's not to say that students can't reach out to us for resources. It's just that we don't offer any workshops during winter and summer sessions because we don't have our full student staff during those sessions. But however, we're always open to, collaborating or presenting if like maybe a certain class or maybe if a student needed a specific resource, we definitely connect them to whatever resource that we could. But as far as like ongoing workshops like we do during the semester, no, that's not something that we offer.
Okay. Yes, there was one collaborative event that I wanted to speak about specifically, but can you tell us like what organizations you have collaborated with before?
We've worked with WEPA. We've worked with One Love. We've collabed with them as well. We've collabed with the Naloxone Training companies. Yes. We do like campus collaboration. So with like the counseling center, we do Take Back the Night, and we also do Sober Fest. We've done things with SGA before, but that was a few years ago, but we have worked with them as well. So it's like organizations on and off campus.
So recently you guys did a naloxone training. I was there. Can you speak on as to why like this was such an important workshop for students as well as, staff members?
Yeah, well, so naloxone is it's the medicine that you would administer to somebody who was going through an overdose, and it prevents them from dying of an overdose. However, they still should go to a hospital because the effects of the overdose can come back. The naloxone it's usually in the form of a nasal spray. And with addiction being such a prevalent issue, this is super important. You get sent the kit for free. It's mailed to your home. And it's good to just keep on your person, especially if you know somebody who might have an addiction and, who might not be careful. It could be the difference between life and death. So it's incredibly important.
Yes. And like, just to add to that, like specifically the Bronx, there's statistics that show that there is a very high number of people who use and who often overdose. So what our alcohol and other drug coordinator did was assess those stats and just provide it to students, because we are a commuter campus and you just never know. Like sometimes everyone like knows that one person, maybe they're in their family, and maybe it's someone, a neighbor, and we all kind of have this, I don't say we have a connection to someone who's using, but like oftentimes we do, and we maybe just don't know about it. And so it's just good for students to have, just based off of what the statistics are showing for like the Bronx in particular. And since Lehman is in the Bronx and we have a lot of students that live in the Bronx, so we just wanted to offer that to the community.
That's true. Yes, I make sure to keep my kit on me, like when I'm on bike rides, because I know there's a hot spot, for lack of better words, when you cross the bridge going into the Heights, Washington Heights, and I see a lot of syringes on the ground and things like that, and it's like, wow, I really needed this training and needed to have the kit just in case. What does a day of self-care look like to you?
I'll let you go first, Nicole.
A day of self-care. So to me, I think self-care is anything that allows you to take a second for yourself, and that's super important. So first thing in the morning, since I'm awake at 6:30 because of my cats, I usually take about a half hour, an hour or so to read something, just pure enjoyment. And then, throughout the day, so Thursdays is my busiest day because I have classes from basically 2 to 9. It's just about making sure that I get time away from the screen so I don't go blind before the age of 30. Yeah, just taking a second and then maybe unwinding after a while before bed. I just put the phone away because I can end up scrolling through social media for far longer than I want to.
Relatable.
Yeah, so a typical day of self-care for me is first of all, if I'm lucky enough to do, and that's part of why I'm trying to incorporate more of these time management skills and tools that we talk about. But a day of self-care would be definitely waking up, maybe doing a really, really deep stretch, because I feel like I'm always so stiff, stretching and just maybe meditating for like 20 minutes, having a nice strong cup of coffee, taking a walk, and then, doing a little, not a facial, but like, a little exfoliation, a little moisturizing, that type of thing. And just relaxing, listening to music. I think my form of self-care is really doing nothing and giving my brain just the room to breathe.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned music. What we usually do is ask our people being interviewed what their song of the week is. What songs are you vibing to now?
Oh my God, Nicole, you go.
Oh God, hold on, I gotta check my
Mine is like, I don't even know if you guys would know this song. It's a song by Mike Jones and Paul Wall called Still Tippin'.
What?
Oh my God, I know that one.
I've been listening to it on repeat for because it was a song that was like popping when I was like, I don't know.
Still tipping on fofos.
That is my song.
I was very young when that song came out.
I was super young
but...
too when it came out. So I just had this nostalgic moment the other day, and I was downloading all this music I used to like when I was younger. And so I've been listening to that song on repeat.
I'm kind of offended you said that we probably wouldn't know it.
Well, because it's more like Houston, it's Texas rap. So I didn't know if people were into it.
Oh, nah,
Mike Jones.
All of that reaches New York. All of that reaches.
I didn't know, y'all.
Mike Jones
just comes out sooner down there.
I didn't know people messed with Mike Jones up here.
He was nationwide.
I never hear about him up here.
He was nationwide.
Yeah, but if you go out or something in New York, they play throwbacks. I never hear bars or clubs or anything play throwback Southern songs, but if you go out in the South, there's all the stuff still on rotation, they're classics.
I love it.
That's why I didn't know that there.
I know one of my favorite Mike Jones songs is Cuddy Buddy.
Cuddy Buddy. Oh my God, I'm about to download it.
that one takes me back.
Oh my God, Mike Jones.
Okay, so we're gonna add that to the Spotify mix.
Yeah, we should. So, guys, tell us one fact about the Wellness Center that students might not know.
Fun fact. Ra the Hitmaker is on the team.
Yes, that's a fact. I think another fact is that people don't realize that it's really like a student resource. So, it's like students are allowed to just hang out in there if they want. So I think a lot of times they see the staff hanging out and like they see us working or doing things, and maybe they feel like, oh, this is just for like when we have workshops. But no, it's paid for by the student body, and like we welcome students to come in and lounge. And well, obviously not now, but like when we were open, we welcome students to use it as a resource, or even just to hang out, to maybe have their lunch really quick, or just to chat with the staff. I don't think a lot of students know that.
Yeah, it can be used as like a safe space for people to just come in and relax. Even when I wasn't on schedule, I would still just go. That was sort of my home base. I was always in the office. I basically lived there. So yeah.
Yeah, I did go there one time just to like sit and cry. And you guys have in the sitting area, you guys have this wall of like just like positive things that students wrote. And that was just so helpful. Like I don't think people know about that, but they should go in and check it out if we ever open again. But yeah, that was really nice to read while I was like crying about life.
Oh yeah, our positive affirmations.
Yeah.
Now, what type of cry was it? Was it an ugly cry?
It was not an ugly cry. It was I haven't dealt with my emotions about the situation at all, and it's just happening right now. So I'm like, let me go to the wellness center. That seems like an appropriate place to cry.
It is. We welcome criers.
We do.
Yes, that was actually how I got my introduction at the wellness center. I would just go there, check it out, and I think at first I probably looked like a creep walking by, but I was welcomed in,
and I recognized you too. And I was like, I think I have a class with him, and it's like, and you kept coming by, and I was like, why is he just coming by all the time? Like, is he gonna join? Is he gonna participate?
I thought you meant that you came there to cry too. And I was like,
yeah, I thought so too. I was like, wow, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
He's like, you know what? I have a confession. I cried.
I still need you. No, but like the wellness center was amazing. I spent 3 semesters there and love it till this day. What are some of your most enjoyable moments on the wellness team? And actually, how long have you been part of it?
I've been there almost 4 years. I basically, or like 3.5, I think. Yeah, like 3.5 years, because I started off as a student peer educator when we were participating in that. And then eventually I just, would help out a lot, and then got promoted. But that's really hard, because I genuinely enjoyed just being in the office and being around like the team and stuff like that. So
true.
I really like no particular moment stands out to me, because it's just like,
it's a vibe.
It was always fun. Yeah, it was always like, even when we were doing workshops, like, and we start, having our little side conversations, that's really hard. I don't have one moment that jumps out at me, but just overall, just being in the atmosphere in the office was always nice.
What about frustrating moments?
Frustrating? Oh, I got those.
You give us one of your most frustrating moments.
I think the most frustrating moments are, it's not even really with like the programming. It's usually with like personalities, and not even personalities from like the students per se. It's usually from like other staff members.
Yes.
And just, like, trying to collab and trying to do things and trying to, just kind of be on the same page. Of course, you have sometimes staff. There's always that one person, right, that kind of gives you a hard time. So that's not fun, but it's usually like the annoying things are coming from like professors, or like maybe, different offices and things like that. But, we work it out, figure it out. Nicole, did you want to add?
Yeah, Nicole, enjoyable moments and or frustrating moments.
Yeah, so I've been with the Wellness Center since fall 2018, so almost like about 2 years now. We have our staff holiday parties. Those are really fun. We play a lot of games. It gets real competitive. You know, I think the first one I remember, we had a really big team that year. So I think it was like 15 people in total or something like that.
Wow.
And everybody brought food and it was a huge potluck. Somebody fell asleep at the table. It was frustrating moments. I guess it would just be, yeah, sometimes, you know, you get different personalities and it's basically one big group project. So sometimes you're like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this, but we usually manage to pull it together in the end. Or when the computer stops working in the middle of a workshop or something, I'm like, oh, come on. There's like 10 people just staring at you and you're like, I'm so sorry.
Like, just a moment.
Yeah, so that's probably it.
So, what kind of de-stressors are you guys offering? Are you offering any during midterms, finals? Because I know usually you guys do like massages and stuff like that, but obviously we can't do that on Zoom.
So we're going to do like a game night, and I think we'll have another meditation session before finals, and then just like game night. And the whole idea behind game night is that you're not really like, you're just kind of loosening up. Your brain is still working. You're still doing something, but it's fun. It's light. It's like lighthearted. It's not really like, you know, stressing you out. It's meant to be fun and, you know, have a little social interaction and de-stress. And then of course, meditation, the positive effects from meditation. But as far as like massaging, I wish we could give our massage a
Oh my God, I need one so bad.
Thanks. Let me
that was my favorite. Actually,
I'll email my address.
Yeah, those are the best. I miss them so much. Also, so I guess, yeah, those are really the ones that we have. One of the things I noticed in some of the workshops I was hosting was people sometimes just need a minute to talk about what they're going through. Some of my workshops have turned into just sort of group discussions about life. So that's sort of the angle. So the series that I host is called Treat Yourself Tuesdays. It's on Tuesdays. It's all about self-care. So I think the last two for the semester will be more focused on de-stressing and managing this crazy situation we find ourselves in.
Definitely needed. So when the campus eventually does open up, do you think you'll try to keep some of the workshops virtual, or would you want to like completely go back to having everything in person?
I think we want to explore more virtual options just because sometimes it's a little bit more convenient for people. You know, somebody might really want to come to our time management workshop or our gardening workshop or something like that. But they might not be on campus that day. And sometimes, you know, nobody wants to take an hour-long train to come to Lehman just to do an hour-long workshop. So we might consider doing virtual work that way and explore other options. So yeah, I think it's an option.
How can students reach out to you if they wanted to keep up to date with the gardening workshop? Because that sounds very interesting. Both me and Rakim are plant parents.
I'm a plant parent. Chelsea's a plant parent. I think we all are plant parents.
Yes. Basically, you can just follow us at Lehman Wellness, and we post like a week at a glance, which is just basically what we have coming up that week. And then, of course, like the day of that workshop, we'll post on our stories or we'll post on our regular feed about what we are doing for that particular day. So I would say right now, the best way is through Instagram.
Okay.
Or you can sign up for our listserv where we send you basically the things we post on Instagram, but it's sent to your student email.
That is good to know. Because I just assume everyone has Instagram at this point, but
me
good to
too.
know you
but
have
like
that.
You know, some people are 2000 and late, so
Yeah. I see. So, if any of the listeners have never heard of the Wellness Center, what is one key takeaway you would want to have?
I would say that we're here for you. Like it's basically a safe space for all students. We're probably the most diverse team. And I mean that in all ways possible. We have a lot of different views and thoughts, and we're very welcoming and inclusive. And, you know, wellness is basically everything that makes you a whole functioning healthy human being. Like that's what wellness is. So anything you really can think of, we most likely cover it. But, you know, I do want to say we're not like doctors or anything like that, but like we definitely give you some tools and tips and strategies to make a healthy and informed decision. And if we can't help you, we definitely point you in the right direction, or we try to provide some sort of resources that Lehman offers. Or if we know any outside resources, we try to connect you with those too. So, and again, you pay for it. So we just really want students to, like, you know, use what you have, like definitely utilize your campus resources in a way that like really, you know, boosts you to where you want to be.
Okay, great. So assuming we're not in quarantine until 2050, where is the Wellness Center located for those listening at a later date?
We are in the old gym building in room 007, right next to the health center.
Nice. Okay, so
Are
what?
you looking for staff? That I want to know for me.
Oh,
Yeah, so we usually run our, for staff, we usually run our hiring. We start hiring in the spring for the following fall semester. So it's a year, it's usually 2 semesters long that people stay with us. But we also have, so it's like volunteer work, and it's 5 hours a week, and you are a wellness promoter, and you get a really good, well-rounded experience with everything you might need to take to another position. So keep a lookout for emails in this spring for new staff.
all right. So you mentioned the health center. There's also the Lehman Counseling Center. What's the difference between all three of these organizations on campus?
So our health center is basically like a Lehman run clinic. So it's staffed with actual physicians, doctors, licensed nutritionists, nurses. So if students, you know, were having any type of health issue, they could use their insurance, or they can try to sign up for different types of health insurance through Lehman, more affordable insurance, things like that. So if you had a cold, you could go there. A fever, you could go there. If you wanted to be tested, they do a lot of testing. Sometimes it's discounted rates, really cheap, ranging from like $5 to $20, or it can be free at times, just depending. That's something you would have to check in with them. But basically, they're an actual health clinic, like a typical clinic you would see anywhere else. They are doctors, they're nutritionists, they're licensed. The counseling center, again, these are actually doctors. So they have their masters, they have their PhDs, they are licensed counselors. So if students needed a therapist, instead of, you know, paying hundreds of dollars per hour to go see a licensed counselor or therapist, you can utilize, again, a resource that's offered to Lehman students. And I think they offer 30-minute sessions. I don't know if they're doing 30 or 45-minute sessions right now, but that's something that they're offering virtually. And again, they're doctors, and they are designed to deal with, you know, mental health. And I think they deal with like eating disorders and things like that, but which again is attached to mental health. So they deal with mostly mental health. Now, our office, we are the Wellness Education and Health Promotion program, which means that all of these offices, they offer more so of the service, and we offer the education. So we're not diagnosing you, we're not treating you for anything, but we're giving you the information and the resources, basically.
Okay, multifaceted, I see. So in a triple threat match, who would win? Looks like
I think wellness. No, I was kidding.
let's go. You gotta, hey, yeah. Stand by that. All right. So I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else, Chelsea. Anything else we should mention? Oh, you know what? I have something.
Okay.
This interview, we're doing this for our pet beta fish that passed away
Oh, R.I.P.
at the Wellness Center. Yes, right before quarantine.
Oh,
I think he knew it was coming. Yes, Alex.
He's like, I'm just go ahead and knock myself out.
Yeah. So
Like, they ain't coming back for me.
in honor of the beta fish, Alex, we love you, bro.
R.I.P., bro.
Gone but not forgotten.
All right, so this is Lehman College Radio. We want to thank Sheridan Dunn and Nicole Flores for joining us. It's Rod the Hitmaker, Rakim, Chelsea, Big Chelsea, signing out.
Woo! Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.